Hello once again all. This is going to be a relatively short video just because it's a update on my Banlist collection video, and obviously not much is going to change Banlist to Banlist, but I just like making these videos because it gives me an excuse to bust out the collection. So let's just go ahead and go right on through it. The ones that are the same, we still have the Arch Nemesis Protoss, Artifact Scythe, Barrier Statue of the Storm Winds, both the copies of Gofu the Vague Shadow, Block Dragon, and one of the newest additions. We gave Cyberstein room to breathe for a little bit there for a few years, but as per usual and as expected, he did not stick around for, well, that's not true. He stuck around for a bit, actually, but we finally realized that that was a mistake, and back on the ban list he is, so here is his secret rare printing first edition in my collection. Both copies of Dandelion are still there with the ulti. Really happy I was able to get one of those. And going back to the other page, we got the Jin, Eclipse Wyvern, Ava, both copies of Snow, Fiber Jar, both copies of Blaster, Glow Up Bulb, which admittedly we could probably play around with that one. We had a few mentions of that in some of my previous videos for the Super Heavy Sword Soul list, which would be funny if you could search this off of Sage DeFlora. So it would be funny to play around with this, and I'm letting you know right now that if this comes off the ban list, I am immediately selling this. So look out for that if you are anywhere near my local. That will be happening. Moving on, we got the Grinding Golem and the token that I got with it. I'm kind of considering getting the tokens for the other token generators on this list. I don't really care about that much. I just saw the Grinding Golem token with it and decided to get it, but I may do it. But anyway, both copies of Level Eater, both Magical Scientists, Magispector, Unicorn, Kyrian, Masterpiece, and my prized possession, the Ultimate Rare Max C. This is one I think that will never come back, but if it does, I will be selling this in a heartbeat because that will be a lot of money. And pairing that with the secret rare copy up there because the ulti is not first dead. Moving on with the Mind Master, both copies of Harp Horror, Plush Fire, Cluster Amaryllis, Redox, which is the only Dragon Ruler I think that shouldn't come off just because Earth decks are a little bit better than any of the other decks. Blaster just came off. I think that's going to be fine. That's in my trade binder, by the way, if anybody wants that, because I'm not going to use it in anything. So if you would like a copy of a Blaster, I have both the secret rare and the rare if you are interested. Both copies of Ronin Tonin, Master Plan, Tyrant Neptune, Title, which I do think could come off. I'm a little bit more hesitant with that as well, just because water decks are fairly decent. But giving water decks a Foolish Burial, I don't think would be a terrible idea. Like, I'm thinking about it, and there's not really anything that comes to mind that they would do anything crazy with that. So, I mean, I think it'd be fine. Redox, I think, should stay where it is, at least for now, but Title, I think, might be fine. And then the Victory Dragon, Norden, the Starving Venom, Kikalos, which is a little bit newer, but still here nonetheless, and then the Ulti Colossus along with the Secret. And then moving on into the links, the Ulti Halqifibrax along with the other printing, Curious, Agripane, LP, Electromite, the Nightmares, Goblin, and Mermaid, Linkross, Auroradon, Mew, Verte, Simorg, Sprite Elf, Summon Sorceress, and the newest addition to the Link category, funnily enough, Super Heavy Samurai Scarecrow, which nobody saw coming. I mean, yes, Link ones are very powerful, but I mean, we hadn't even had this deck for a month when they decided to hit it. Go check out some of my previous videos to see a newer build of Super Heavy in action. Admittedly, it is a Sword Soul build as well, but there are more pure builds of Super Heavy that can still function out there. So I'm going to try to get another one on my channel later on if we have any other Super Heavy builds pop up. So be looking out for that if I am able to get to those. But for now, here is the Super Heavy Link one in my banned collection because Konami decided to be funny with that. And then moving back up, we got the Gumblar, Union Carrier, Chaos Ruler, Ib, Tempest Magician, and of course Snow Danglong because that is legal once more. And I promise you I will be making a Dino deck that abuses that, and look out for Manadium to be a little bit crazy with that as well, mark my words. Going into the Exceed, Lavalval Chain, MX Saber Invoker, Shockmaster, Galaxy Tomahawk, Rungominiad, and the newest addition in Diablosis, the Mind Hacker, where he belongs. A couple people say that this isn't the hit, and, like, I want to know what you're on, because, like, what are you saying? This should absolutely be banned. It's its effect was kind of a little bit powerful in and of itself anyway, just getting knowledge in the extra deck and being able to get rid of one of those, but Kashtira is finally the one that broke it. So here it is right where it belongs. Moving on with the Dark Matter Dragon, the Utopic Zexal, Azathoth, True King, Zenmaity, Broadbull, and Drident to round them out. Back up into the spells, the Ulti Brilliant Fusion along with the Secret Rare, Butterfly Dagger, Elma, Carter, Safe Return, Chicken Game, Cold Wave, Confiscation, Delinquent Duo, Dimension Fusion, Giant Trunade, Graceful Charity, Heavy Storm, Kaiser Coliseum, the Last Will, Mass Driver, and Metamorphosis, another one of my prized possessions. Was so happy I was able to get one of those, but also had to get a common because that is not first ed over there because it does not have a first ed printing. Mirage of Nightmare, Mystic Mind, Painful Choice. The Ulti-Pot of Greed is not one of the most expensive cards in the collection, but is one of my favorite just because it's hilarious to think that I was able to get one of these. Premature Burial, both copies of Smoke Grenade, Snatch Steal, Soul Charge, That Grass Looks Greener, Forceful Sentry, and Zodiac Barrage. And then two more of the newest editions. Appointer of the Red Lotus, which I had to get 2 rarities for because the super rare did not have a first ed printing, so we also had to get a first ed common. And Branded Expulsion, which in the grand scheme of things does nothing because you can still do the Gimmick Puppet Lock. Admittedly, it does make it a little bit harder to do very slightly, but it's still very easy to do in the grand scheme of things. You just have to commit a little bit harder into it and you get less to no follow-up with it. So decent hit, expected hit. It's a hit that was expected, but like this doesn't kill the Gimmick Puppet Lock if you're still going to be able to do it. It just makes you have to commit to it a little bit harder, and you can still win games pretty easily with it. So make of that what you will. Moving on with Imperial Order, Last Turn, Red Reboot, both copies of... Oh no, just the one copy of Return from the Dimension. I was thinking of the Royal Oppression that comes right after that, both copies of that. Self-Destruct Button, Sixth Sense, 2 copies of the Trap Dust Shoot, and the 3 copies of Ultimate Offering, some more prized possessions of mine. Happy to have gotten my hands on those. And then rounding it out with the Vanity's Emptiness. So not many changes in there, but changes that have happened nonetheless, and happy to have been able to have that update. But that is all I got for you, so thanks for tuning in for one more video, and have a good rest of the day.